Hey, hey, welcome back to Wanna Grab Coffee. Um, it's been kinda rainy here the last couple days in Southern California, which is such a nice change, and I'm really digging it. The only thing I really wish that I had was a PTO day in the rain so I could just watch my favorite show and drink coffee and hot chocolate and take a nap and not have anybody needing my attention or to be entertained. Hopefully, you're able to do that yourself if you are experiencing some of the cold weather and rain where you are. But that is exactly what I wanted to about today was PTO. So if you're hiding in your car just for a few moments before you go inside, or maybe you are folding laundry or doing the dishes, or you are just kind of sitting with your eyes closed in between meetings trying to get a break, welcome. Let's get into it. So, what I want to talk through today is PTO and how I've used it strategically in the past handful of years. We talked about boundaries recently, and as a working mom, your PTO when you become a mother, your PTO is no longer your own in some ways, and in some ways we can reclaim that and make it our own. As your kids go into daycare and as they go into school and all of the things when germs become present, your PTO days quickly dwindle. We've got sick kids, we've got all kinds of stuff that we have to navigate. Either they're at home with us while we're working from home, or they're sick and we have to take a full on PTO day. And all of a sudden, those days dwindle. Regardless of where you are in your mothering journey and your career and what kind of job you have, PTO can be used strategically. I want to specifically talk about taking the first and last day of school PTO. We are smack dab in the middle of the year right now and getting ready for the second half of the year, basically. We're heading into a lot of Christmas days off, so winter break, ski week, all of the things. And if you haven't already, I want you to stop, pause this podcast, and take PTO for the last day of school. And I'm going to tell you why. Over the last handful of years, I have learned that my presence in the first day of school and the last day of school is really important for myself and for my kids, but mostly for my kids. What we'll talk about today is like there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of just like ripple effect on what you choose to and not to do on the first and last day of school. And I've just realized if I remove myself from my work and shut down for the day, not only does the first and last day of school go really fast, but the kids have a lot of emotions, a lot of things that they are not processing very well in real time, and they just need you to be present. So, if you have not already requested PTO for the last day of school and you have some PTO banked up, or maybe you are working in an unlimited PTO situation, take advantage of that. And again, if you need to pause, go ahead and then come on back. The most important thing to remember is that with PTO, we kind of have to reframe the way that we think about it. PTO is something that you've earned. It should not be used sparingly if you do not have a limit on it. And so, what I'll be talking from today is the point of view of unlimited PTO, or maybe team managed PTO, or flexible PTO, whatever you want to call it. When there is no limit on it, how can we use that strategically? And how can we use it to support our family, support our mental health, and really just enjoy the PTO that we have worked really hard for? So let's talk about the invisible emotional load that is present in the first and last day of school. So we've got a lot of things for that our kids are experiencing. Most importantly, on the first day of school, we've got separation anxiety, new social hierarchies, secret panic. Last day of school, we're looking at the end of friendships, going away from teachers that we might have absolutely just loved, um, away from routines, maybe some mixed emotions. Maybe they're really happy that school is over. Maybe they're super bummed because they're not going to see their friends and their teachers every single day, all day. What I try to remember with these 2 days, and what has really helped me to solidify taking these 2 days off every year, is my kids need me to be present and they don't need solutions. So I want them to be able to feel the weight of those school transitions with new routines, new expectations, new teachers, new friends. That all of those transitions are very real and they can be very heavy for kids. They all process them at different times and different ways. My kids are all very different. If I'm talking about the difference between my firstborn and my second, first really internalizes everything, thinks everything through, copes with everything on the inside, and it's really hard to pull things out of her. So she'll be quiet, she'll be tired, those types of things on the first day of school. Second born, everything is really intense, intense emotions, intense feelings, and it's always at the forefront, which I honestly respect and appreciate. It's not as hard to get out, but it is harder to manage when they're coming out. So being that consistent presence is really helpful. And what I try and do on those days for first day of school, last day of school, I take work off completely. I prep myself before I leave. I send my clients emails, "Hey, I won't be out. I'll be out completely this day. I'll be back on whatever day to help you. Here's who you can contact while I'm gone, and you're completely supported. You know it's coming. I know it's coming, and I don't check my inbox. I don't take phone calls. I do not check my Slack." There are there are some things that might need to be addressed that day and fires that you cannot avoid. I get that. But let's make that the exception to the rule, not, ooh, I'll just let this one slide. Reason being, I have learned from experience that if I am not completely unplugged, that mental energy just gets completely depleted in my mind and then emotionally takes a toll on me. So then later on in the day, if I'm checking my email earlier in the day, I have the need to, or I feel the need to check it later on. Um, and then that becomes me scrolling when my kids are coming down from the high of their first day or their last day of school, and just when they need my presence, I am mentally checked out. Might be sitting with them, but I'm scrolling through my phone and they're not dumb. They know that I'm not paying attention. Um, and then that allows me to be truly emotionally available for them. I also understand that it's completely unavoidable sometimes where you cannot be off their first and last day of school. And so I would encourage maybe a half day, or if you can't, that you are making it clear with your boundaries to your team, to your supervisor, whoever, that at this time I'm shutting down because I need to be present for my. In the last handful of years that I've done this, is the more that I can take time off during their time at school and really do things that refuel me. If you've probably heard about the bucket fillers at school, but if my bucket is full, then I can pour into their bucket. If I am resting during the day while they're at school and allowing myself to recharge emotionally, mentally, physically, then I can pour into their buckets at the end of the day because they have completely depleted theirs while they're at school. Um, so I think that's a really great way to transition into, there is a ripple effect, but um, when you show up in those times, it actually teaches your kids a lot about their worth. And what that actually looks like is I am present. I am here with you. I care about you through big feelings and little feelings and beginnings and ends and hard and weird and fun and crazy and all of those things. I can handle it. I am present and I care about you and about those things. So, um, when I take those days off, I am able to pick them up on time or maybe even a little bit early if need be. They have some time to decompress, but then I also have the bandwidth to handle those meltdowns, those emotions, and just to have super random conversations with them. You never know what they're going to want to talk about after school, or if they want to talk at all on those days. So, um, being available is really helpful for that. It actually reminds me at the end of the year this year, my middle is, empathic and um, deep feeling and really in the moment, and I really appreciate that about her, and I watching her at the end of the day. I saw her when she got into the car at this was on the last day of school, last year. She had an incredible teacher, and she got into the car, and she's just kind of quiet, and she looks a little bit sad, said, "Hey, what's going on?" And she just starts sobbing, "Mama, I'm gonna miss my teacher so much. I just love her so much." And so I just kinda sat with her while she talked through that, and I put my hand on her knee, or I asked her if she wanted a hug. And had I not taken the day off from work, I don't know that I would be able to be fully emotionally available. When I was in the car with her, I knew driving up to pick up that there was going to be intense emotion, so I set my phone off to the side, and I just made sure that I was physically available and tuned into her. So we got to have some good conversation of, I know that's so hard to leave your teacher and leave your friends for the summer, and we'll get to see them over the summer. And the wonderful thing about going to this school next year is that your teacher will be here next year, and you get to see her, and you get to go give her hugs and tell her how much you miss her. Or maybe you get to see her on the playground, or maybe you get to see her when you do your musicals. And that helped her to kind of, cheer up a little bit. But being present for that really reminded me, had I not taken the time to decompress that day, and honestly, their last day of school, I took a nap. I worked out. I did the things I knew that would fill my cup, and was really helpful in the long run. It really allowed me to, um, show up for them. Noah, I've mentioned filling up your bucket so that you can fill theirs, but it's really important to remember that your needs matter too. It's a way for you to have space to feel your own feelings, to um, reflect on growth, to have permission to mark the significance of this point in time. And as I've mentioned, energy to show up. But it's funny because I find myself on first day of school, last day of school, reflecting on how much my kids have grown, um, physically, mentally, emotionally, but mostly physically. And that one really gets me, surprises me every time. It's like a bittersweet moment to take pictures on the first day of school, take pictures on the last day of school and compare them, but then also to look at the year prior. Man, it really gets me to think about where they were, on the first day of school. I think about where they were at the end of the year last year, and maybe some new challenges that they're gonna face this year, um, some anxiety or things that I have for them that maybe they're not even aware of, um, and then also the last day of school, just thinking about, "Okay, we made it through another year." I'm so proud of where they have come and how much they have grown, and it's really nice to have the summer and some time for them to just have downtime and do what they enjoy and not have homework or expectations, just a little bit different than the regular days at school. When you take that time to address your needs and take that downtime on those significant days, there's times where my husband has joked with me because on the first day of school, like, I'll go get a massage or something. I'll, go to lunch with a friend or whatever. And he'll say, "Oh, yeah, you're really enjoying that first day of school, right?" Or something. He's, of course, teasing me, but yeah, I am. It's not an indulgent thing, it's feeding my soul. And I need that in order to be able to be a good mom, to be a good wife, to be a good employee. It's an opportunity to look at it as a tool for intentional life design. And what I mean by that is you are not just taking time off for family emergencies, but you're telling your coworkers, your manager, your family, your kids, your spouse, when I take time off to address my family's emotional needs, it's because you are worth protecting, because my family is worth protecting. I design my calendar around what matters, and work isn't the only important thing in my life. So when you implement those boundaries, you have the opportunity to be better at your job, to be a better mom, to be a better spouse, partner, to be a better friend because you're taking that time to recharge and you're showing up for those you love. So the way that I've done this in the past is that as soon as the school calendar drops in the summer, usually around August, I will go in and request PTO for whatever days that I need. So first day of school for sure is the first one, and then last day of school, my manager knows fully ahead of time that I'll be doing this. Send a Slack, send a message, whatever. You're going to see a lot of PTO days coming in. I'm just making sure that I align with my kids' schedule. It's really important to me to be present at work when I'm at work and present at home when I'm at home. So I'm requesting these days off ahead of time so we can plan together, but also because this is important to me. This is something that is a priority in my life. It's important to set realistic expectations. Today's not going to be perfect. The first and last day of school are not going to be Pinterest perfect for sure. There's going to be something that happens that you are not prepared for or weren't expecting. And maybe you have traditions. These are loose traditions. If we get to them, great. If we don't, okay. Talking with your kids, level setting with them too. What do you really want to do today? Where should we go after school if you're going to get, lunch or something like that? And make sure that you protect that day. And because it's really easy to be like, hey, I'm going to run 27 errands. I'm going to go to Target. I'm going to make these returns. I'm going to go get the laundry done. I'm going to do all these things. When you do all those things, you drain your emotional, mental energy, and then you can't show up later because you're depleted. You have nothing to give. So if you have to get something done, maybe limit it to one or two things and then just do something that fills you up and gives you that energy back. And this goes without saying, protect your day from work. Do not take on any quick tasks or catch up on your inbox or anything. That is not taking paid time off. That is working. You might as well be working on that day. It's not helpful to you or anybody else to be split presence at work. Your head's at work, your kids are in your car, or your kids are in your car and you're supposed to be working. You said you would be working and you're not. Like that just not those two don't work together. They cannot coexist. Now, you might be saying, but Natalie, I can't afford unpaid time. Okay, let's start with where you can. Can you take a half day? Can you work from home that day? You talk to your manager about catching up in the evenings on certain projects, or can you reschedule a client meeting from that day if it's enough warning in advance? If you can't afford the unpaid time, is there someone who can be there for your kids on that day if you can't? A family member, grandpa and grandma, aunt or uncle, maybe a close friend who knows your child well. Is there somebody who can be there for your kid and be available for your kid if you can't? Because I know that there are those very slim moments where the stars align and you just absolutely can't do it. Is there someone who can and step in your absence for that moment? Um, Natalie, my job is too demanding. Okay, listen, I'm going to hit you with, with a truth bomb, so buckle up. If your job cannot function without you for one day, this is a systemic problem. Okay. That is a bigger problem that needs to be addressed in your organization, in your company overall. And I think that you know that. So if you're saying, "Oh, my job is too demanding. I can't even take, half day," or let's say you have unlimited PTO and you feel like your job is too demanding and it just absolutely won't survive without me for one day. Um, please find the most truth-telling person on your team or in your company who's going to shoot you straight to do an audit with you on your tasks that absolutely cannot wait and listen to them. If they say to you, "What are you talking about? This can totally wait until next week," or "No, we can wait one more day," or "Actually, let me help you prep so that you can take your day off and totally unplug." There's people in your organization that can do that, and if there aren't, find a friend outside of your occupation and just audit your stuff with them. If you don't even have that, find a business coach who's and say, "Hey, I just need an hour of your time. I will pay you for that time. I need you to help me audit these activities that I have to do. I need to figure out how to place them elsewhere, how to deprioritize them, um, or prioritize them in a different like on a different day." You can also utilize ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a wonderful, unbiased third party that can look at your tasks and help you to prioritize. So, for example, in my role as an account manager, there is a quota aspect to it. There is an aspect where you are expected to upsell and generate revenue. So, some of the prompts that I've used in the past are prioritize this list of things that I have to do, make sure that my revenue generating items are at the top of the list. How can I use my time well? I have X amount of time to get this done. Or in these 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm taking Tuesday off. How can I reprioritize my to-do list to make sure that I can fully take Tuesday off? How can I use Monday and Wednesday most efficiently and prioritize the revenue generating activities? I guarantee you, if you have a micromanaging boss, which I hope you don't, it's awful. But if you do, if you went to them and you said, "I'm taking this day off, I really need to unplug, and here is how I've prepared for it. On Monday, I'm doing this, and on Wednesday, I'm doing this, and I'm completely shutting down on Tuesday." I those people, I think, would feel more confident with you taking that time off if you had a plan in place and you could confidently speak to that plan. Another thing might be, "Oh, but Natalie, I'm already behind on everything." Listen to me. You will always be behind. Nobody is caught up. Like if inbox zero, I don't believe that. If you have inbox zero, then your job is too easy. Okay. Everybody is behind on everything. Nobody is on top of their to do list. It is a lie. That is a lie, 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 lie. If you are on top of everything, then you're probably neglecting other things in your life. Sorry to be the one to tell you that. Like, what do you want to be behind on? Do you want to be behind on your relationship with your children and your spouse and your friends? Or would you like to be behind on some emails and work tasks and things that actually can wait until tomorrow or actually can wait until next week? And and you're just too fearful maybe to prioritize differently because of the way that you'll be perceived or because of what might happen when you're not in control. Sorry. Maybe not sorry. Um, if you didn't come here to get a dose of truth, then what did you come here for? Okay. Let's close it out. Here's a reminder to you. Your presence is a gift to your children and yourself. If you give yourself the ability to show up and be present for your kids, I guarantee it will be a gift to them, even if they don't act like it, even if they have a full meltdown on the first day or last day of school. You showing up for them speaks volumes, and they will remember that later on in their life. I'm convinced. So let me ask you this question. How do you want to remember these moments? How do you want to remember the first day of school? How do you want to remember the last day of school? Do you want to remember rushing them out of the house and mentally being unavailable and rehearsing your meetings and answering Slacks on the first day of school when they're panicking in their head or they're wondering who they're going to sit and eat lunch with, or what if this friend doesn't remember me, or does my outfit look okay? I don't know. Does my hair look weird? Do I smell okay? Like all those things they're just keeping inside of their head and you're just too busy being inside of your own head? Or do you have space to notice their excitement, their nerves, their growth on that first day of school? Same for the last day of school. Do you have the space to recognize when your kid is about to implode because they're sad that they're going to miss their teacher and their friends? Do you have the space to celebrate that the end of the school year is here. No more homework. We get to have summer. We get to play. We get to go outside. We get to sleep in. We get to stay up late. Do you have the space to be present in that? Or are you sitting at a Chick-fil-A booth on your Slack and your emails because a client is mad that they didn't get something went right when they asked for it? I can't answer that for you. I can answer it for me, but you got to answer it for you. All right. So, what are you going to do with that? I would challenge you, if you weren't convinced before, to stop this podcast and open up your calendar and block it off for PTO. Rebook those meetings to different days. Um, Completely mark from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. You are done. Nobody's scheduling on that calendar. Do it for yourself, do it for your spouse, do it for your kids. But most importantly, do it for your kids, right? Um, something I think about a lot is how I think about how my kids will remember me. And honestly, I think if the legacy that I leave for them is my mom showed up, she tried her best, and she was always there for me, I think I've done a pretty good job. And so taking these teeny tiny steps and building those little blocks of that legacy is what's most important for me. And I hope it would be for you too. Um, so if you would share this with another working mom who you think might need to hear this or needs that affirmation, who's maybe trying to make that change, but needs a little bit of a push, and message me and let me know if you've done this. Did you choose to block off your calendar, or is this something that you already do? Give me some tips. I mean, I'm still new to this in a lot of ways. So, do I have 3 kids in with 3 different school schedules? Yeah, but I can always learn something new, and so can you. Hope you got something good out of this. I want you to know that if nobody says it to you, I see you. You are valuable. Your kids love you so much, and they see you trying hard. Um, so if they never say it to you, or maybe your spouse never does, or your friends, you are seen, you are valuable. You are not just managing your career, you're designing your life. And I hope that when you start taking these steps that sometimes might feel scary, that you know you're making it count because you are, and your effort does not go unseen. So, thanks for joining me this week. I'll see you next week. We have some great guests coming up, and I'm really excited for you to get to meet them and hear about their stories and hear someone else's voice other than mine. Have a great week, everyone.